24th, 2013. Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
A quorum is present.
Any persons wishing to address City Council on any items on today's agenda may do so at this time.
Morales is here. All right.
Mayor, excuse me, I'd like to request that the council pull item 01.
We'll pull 01.
All right.
Any comments?
Mr. Mayor, Council, my name is Joseph Texera, District 1. I want to object to the warrant register payment to Inglewood today, and I object to the City Council and the City Clerk using Inglewood's tax dollars for their own benefit. Specifically, this City Council and this City Clerk are using taxpayer dollars to help finance their own re-election campaigns by paying Inglewood today to regularly praise them while regularly hiding your mistakes, your misconduct, and some serious problems in our city. This is a city of color, but has Inglewood today ever reported that Mayor James Butts is literally famous for systematically violating the civil rights of countless Americans, so much so that he was personally sued for doing that, not just according to me, but according to the Yale Law Review, the ACLU, California's Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, and many legal and civil rights organizations. No Willie Brown and Inglewood today have hidden that from its readers. And has Inglewood today ever reported that James Butts lost 2 appeals to California's courts and failed in an attempt to get the Supreme Court to overturn those losses? And that the result of Butts losing those appeals were that he was forced to change the illegal and immoral policies that he approved and supported as chief of Santa Monica's police department? No, Inglewood today has never reported any of that. It is an indisputable fact that James Butts helped our police department.
Excuse me, Mr. Texera. You're not talking about the warrant register. You'll have to come back at the end.
I am talking about it.
No, you're done
Okay,
right
well
now.
then I'll talk
You're-
about the
no,
warrant
excuse-
register now. I'll talk about the warrant
Okay,
register
if-
now.
one
Okay.
more word. Listen to me, sir. One more word and you're done.
One
Go
more
ahead.
word about what?
Go ahead.
No, one more word about what?
anything other than something that's on the agenda and you're done.
Okay, I'm talking about the warrant register. Willie Brown has not reported important stories to the people of this community.
Okay, he's done. He's done. Sergeant Arms, take him out. He's done.
I have to leave because
yes,
of that?
No, you have to leave. You're done. You can come back at the end.
At the end for the comments?
Yes, you can.
But I have to leave during the
You
meeting?
have to leave the chambers right now. Okay.
Gil Matthew, District 4 Mayor and City Council. First, I'd like to congratulate the budget team. You know, it's supposed to have a presentation to them. But anyway, I don't see them here or the presentation, but it's on the agenda. But anyway, I'd like to congratulate the budget team because for the first time in the history of Inglewood that they've given an accurate statement concerning the financial condition of the city. And they should be congratulated. I'll speak on payment of the bills. Here again, we do not have any record of what's being paid by the successor agency on the warrant register. And I wanted to know, Mr. Fields, is any way it's available for the public to understand what's being paid on the ROPS? And my second question is this, concerning the finance condition of the city. Mr. Fields, January 31st, 2014, and we have a bill that's due approximately $17 million. Is that correct, Mr. Fields? You can't answer, okay.
You need to direct your questions to the council at this
Okay,
point.
to the council. January 31st, 2014, We have a bill that's due for approximately $17 million. In fact, see, the problem is I don't have much time in 3 minutes to explain what I'm saying. However, it should be apparent, or it should be basically to the public. We have, what I'm referring to is, we have till 2048 to pay $750 million. Now, that's a fact. We also, on the financial condition on the Robson Successor Agency, we have $350 million. That's $1.1 billion. It's being paid, and it's doable, but it's something that's happened to every city in California due to the Successor Agency taking over for redevelopment. So therefore, we should have a meeting to understand basically what's happening in the relationship between the Successor Agency and how it affects the general fund. It's no reflection on the city. And we in better shape than most cities, but not as good as some. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Council members, my name is Diane Zambrano, and I have several areas of concern with regard to the sound insulation. As I've always said, sound insulation doesn't really protect us from the effects of the airport because there is all of that particulate matter. That sound really doesn't hurt us. And I do have the friend who spent way too many days inside her house after she fell because no one outside could hear her. So I would hope that the people who agree to sound insulation think about all the possibilities of sound goes both directions, and if it doesn't go one direction, it doesn't go the other, and you might actually need your neighbors to hear you if something happens to you and you're inside. With regard to, and I think someone else will address the contract for our services, you know, I just looked through the budget again, and for our cleaning and maintenance, we didn't see anything for the theater being projected. Do we have something coming up there? If not, I don't think we need to clean it. We haven't used it in a while. So that might be something I think someone else will address. But that little 2,000 here and there does add up. If we don't have something addressed in the budget, then maybe we should consider. And while I'm on that subject, just because I am, redevelopment is also an issue for me. And I look forward, while I know that there's going to be a presentation of the budget award, I would hope, or maybe it's been canceled, that part of that would include the breakdown of redevelopment dollars being spent, not spent. You know, I was shocked as I went to take pictures of those addresses of the properties that you're going to sell to the gentleman in the future. I didn't realize that we own the Circus Tent building formerly known as J.C. Penney. Isn't it interesting the people who complained about the building are the people who owned the building? Wow, what a concept, huh? That's kind of like when we discovered at the Planning Commission that we owned that shopping center we had issues with. Remember that? I thought that was pretty funny. But that's kind of like what we do. In just the closing seconds, I'm hoping that we go ahead and rip up those rules of decorum that we have. Because you know what? There was that lawsuit with LA City, and Zumadog did in fact win. You can go look it up, August 7th. You might want to check it out. Federal judge, what is it, Pedgerson? I'll spell it for you when I come up for my last couple of seconds. But while we know that you already don't like the Fifth Amendment, let's pretend you care about the First Amendment.
Closed public comment. It's my pleasure to announce that the Government Finance Officers Association has bestowed upon the City of Inglewood the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. This is the highest form of recognition in governmental budgeting, and its attainment represents a significant advancement by our Inglewood budget team. Join me in congratulating our city manager, Artie Fields, and the rest of the Inglewood budget team, Davis Sparza, Sharon Quakey, Michael Falco, who else? Darryl Brown, Yolanda Douglas, and who? Keona Buchanan. So could everybody come forward for a moment? Who's here, Sharon? So why don't you have him come forward and we'll take a picture right over here. Come on up here, you guys. Applause is okay right now. Item 1, CSA 3 and H1.
Move allow payment of the bills. Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council and agency members, Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Butts.
Aye. Consent calendar items 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Move approval. Second.
Madam City Clerk?
Council members, Dodson. Padilla.
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Butts.
Aye. DR1.
Staff report advising of the residential sound installation program, progress in completing the sound installation of 1,000 residential structures unit within the 12-month period of March 2013 through March 2014.
Mr. Esparza?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. David Esparza, Assistant City Manager, Chief Financial Officer. It's got a I apologize for the delay.
It's no
in,
problem.
This. What I wanted to show here, because some questions have come up on, our ability to meet the 1,000 unit target for this year, for the 12 months from March to March of next year. As you can see in the report, the next batch of units that we will be bringing to the council for completion will be about 117 units. Now, the idea, as you know, there's been a number of staff reports and contracts that the council has approved, in the last 3 to 4 months, which are now all being scheduled through this line. So, and just as a little bit of illustration, you can see that dashed line that goes down to the large arrow at the bottom is, going to the top, hits the calendar date, quarters up at the top in March and April of 2014. So all of those units that we have on record there as being scheduled out will be in their completion, stage in in March of 2014. Now, if we go down to and so this really just lays out the broader scope of it, but if you go down to the next page below it, one page, there you go. This shows what our current and past scheduling has been. And you can see each one of those blue bars represents a new project. And during this period of time, you can see that, there at the top, that line basically goes down through an order and catches a number of projects that represent units. Now you can see there, that first bracket shows that there are 2 projects being started on that particular date. Scroll down just a little bit more, Michael, please. The next one is 1, and the next one down at the bottom is another grouping of 2. So you can see under current and past schedulings, had about 3 to 4, 5 project groups going at any one time. Now, coming into the next phase in the way we have now started the schedule, you'll see here, go down one more page, Michael. The slope of this scheduling is much, much steeper, and you can see that those brackets indicate that we are scheduling 5 groupings at a time. And if you go all the way to and so instead of doing a grouping of 4 to 5, we're doing 10 to 12. So that's the reason why, even though at this particular point we have 256, soon to have an additional 117, the rest of these projects are now being scheduled so tightly and in multiple groups, which was the point that we made when we started doing our transition, that we were actually putting these out on the street in larger bundles. We were doing groups of 40 to 50. Now we're doing groups of 120 to 150 scheduled at one time. And so that's the reason why when we talk about keeping this program on schedule and meeting the goal of 1,000 units within that 12-month period of time, now this is the scheduling detail that we're actually utilizing to meet those goals. So I hope this gives you kind of an indication as to how we have changed our way of doing business in the scheduling of these projects in order to meet that group. And I agree that 256 doesn't look like a whole lot, but there's an avalanche of units coming that will be finished within this next 6-month period of time.
And what's the date projected that we'll hit 1,000?
The 1,000 mark, if you go up to the top there, Michael, the first slide or first page, that arrow is pointing at March of 2014.
Okay, and we started March of 2013. All right, thank you.
Okay.
Are there any questions? Councilman Franklin?
Just a question of concern. This council recognized the needs of identifying families that are single dwelling units, and we came up with a direction. I noticed that your presentation of the 256 units, 72% of those units were multi-units.
Yes.
When will we be phasing out of that and then complying to the directive that the council has now yielded?
Well, we are prioritizing all of the single-family units. The problem is, we don't have enough of them. And so, even though we go out and we solicit, we've been holding, as you know, weekend open houses here at City Hall and then at your town hall meeting, that for people to sign up. We've gone, out and started doing door hangers for, in neighborhoods so that they get the message. We're sending out, over 2,000 letters within the last 3 months, asking people to contact us and express their interest in getting into the program. And so as we collect those single-family units, we're trying to push them as quickly to the front of the line. However, but in order to get attain our goal of 1,000 units, we're going to have to, mix in some of the multifamily units.
And so that is the reason why I'm bringing it up, because in that town hall meeting there was concern that those that were eligible not applying. And
Right.
so I'm opening my office and myself personally to be able to reach out to those single units, and I'm talking about single-family units, to make sure that they are in fact engaged, because otherwise it delays the process of us trying to get the 1,000 that we want, and we're not getting there because of the resident is stagnant and wanting to move forward.
Yes, yes. I
Right.
mean,
Thank
you've
you.
been very helpful in your help to us in these matters. But again, we're constantly soliciting, more and more families to contact us, get themselves signed up, and we're just not getting the numbers
The non-responsive.
that we were hoping for, and so we've had to mix in a number of duplexes and multifamily dwellings.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Morales?
I was actually gonna hit on just that. I know you've been trying to reach out to some of the folks. A lot of them aren't the ones that'll go out to the town hall meetings, go out to these festivals where we have our table and everything else. So those letters are probably the only communication they're getting. And of course, we all open our offices, as I have spoken to you about personally, sending out a letter, which we could hopefully consider. But are we finding now some way why they're not responding? Is there a reason or a common theme in that?
Well, I think the two issues that we've found, and some have been because of the occupants' health problems, in which there may be an older person in the home, and so they don't want to be disturbed. It could be a parent living with somebody. It could be an older couple or an older single person living in the house by themselves, and for health reasons they just don't want to go through the inconvenience and the clatter of the construction.
Right.
Others. It may be a code violation, but, we've tried to reach out to them as well, because we've talked about, some of the code issues that we would like to, be able to work with, in our building and safety departments in order to try to, limit the impact on our construction of minor code violations and allow those to be, corrected, at the same time. But, again, we need the people's responses to, come and say, yes, I want my house, insulated. And, we think it's a very positive thing. You've raised some very good questions for us, which we've responded to, and that is putting our flyers in Spanish and English, flipping it. Your message was, translated, so that, it's both in English and Spanish.
And then, really quick, when, I've noticed in my area, when work is being done on certain homes, all of a sudden that entire block, it wakes up on this issue. Have you noticed, do we do maybe a quick,
Canvas.
yeah, quick canvas when the work is being done on that block? Because I think that for the most part, that's when people start to see this is real, you know?
Yes, and actually we have, because one of the things that I've given, all of our inspectors is a list of eligible, homes that are in the contours that, and say, if you're in the neighborhood, go knock on the door. Just go up and say, hey, I was here passing by, I noticed that your house hasn't been insulated, are you interested? And leave a, brochure or a letter at the door, for them to read when, if they're not home. But, I mean, we're doing a lot to try and reach out there and get our citizens involved in this.
Okay. Councilman Padilla.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to commend your staff. I was here a couple of weeks ago. RSI folks were doing, staff were doing presentations, 2 separate presentations during the evening. One was like at 6 and another one later in the evening downstairs in the community room. And then from there, the folks went into the break room to actually apply.
Right.
So I had an opportunity to talk to some of the residents about why, they've waited. And some of the responses is what you're talking about. They just, they thought it was going to be very cumbersome for them, and the construction work and how it's going to impact their families.
Right.
But after they've spoken with folks that had it done and saw how everything was done on time and professional, they are anxious and excited about being on the list. And so we strongly encourage everyone out there that if you're thinking about getting your home done and you're within the flight path, please apply ASAP, because it takes time to get to you, and then it takes time to get it done. So please, as soon as possible, get your name in there. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Dawson.
David, I also want to thank you guys for responding to my calls. I've been successful in several cases where the people have got the sound installation because they went through my office. And I would encourage everybody, if you're in that corridor and you live in any one of these districts, talk to your council person if you're experiencing any type of problems with that. At least there may be something that you just don't understand. So use your council person, go to them. We're all willing to help. And David and his department has really been cooperative. So let's work as a team and get this done. And thank you very much, David.
Thank you very much.
Mrs. Esparza, to put this in perspective, we're suffering from an abundance of riches at this point. The most that houses we've ever insulated in years around just under 400, isn't that right?
That's about right.
So for us to do, and that was at a peak year, usually it's in the 200 range. So for us to do 1,000 homes in 1 year, that's an incredible task to get that many homes to get into the pipeline. It's just a hard thing to do. So right now what we're doing is complaining about we have too much capacity, and I'd rather be there than not having enough capacity. Believe me, after we do these 1,000 homes, because remember, even though some of them are multiple family residences, they are in the flight path, they do have to be done. And if no single family residents are waiting behind, there's no conflict with our policy. We're trying to get all the units done, and some of those are multiple family. So I want to commend you, because this is a great accomplishment to queue the houses as you have, and we really appreciate it.
And I do want to thank my staff, because they've worked very hard to change their way of doing business. As you can see at the bottom right-hand corner of that sheet, there's actually 1,154 units that are on this whole schedule that go through into next year. And obviously, when we hit that 1,000, we will, push those next 154 into the next 1,000 count. So,
Okay.
but thank you very much.
Okay, we'll receive and file. CM1, Mr. City Manager.
Yes, Mayor and City Council, I just want to announce that there will be a Farm and Redevelopment Agency Oversight Board meeting tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and I would encourage the public to come out. I think a lot of the questions that have been asked about what the Oversight Board is doing can be answered at that time.
All right, thank you. A1,
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. There's a closed session held as to CS1. Closed session confidential conference with labor negotiators under Government Code Section 54957.6A. Employee organization with Service Employees International Union, Inglewood Management Employees Organization, Inglewood Executive Organization, Inglewood Police Officers Association, Inglewood Police Management Association, Inglewood Police Civilian Management Association, negotiators for the city, Artie Fields, City Manager, and Jack Hoffman, Chief Negotiator, Human Resources Labor Relations Consultant. Discussions were held, however, no final action was taken. There was a closed session held as to CS2, closed session, confidential attorney-client privilege, potential litigation under Government Code Section 54956.9B1, claim of Halter Niemer, request a motion to pay billings.
So moved. Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Buds.
Abstain.
There was a closed session held to CS3 and CSA1, closed session, confidential attorney-client privilege, pending litigation under Government Code Section 54956.9A, City of Inglewood et al. Versus INHS. Request a motion to authorize settlement offer.
So moved.
Second.
Council members,
W-
Counsel.
Quick question.
sure.
Mr. City Attorney, I wasn't here for this closed session, but we have discussed in the prior closed session. Am I precluded from voting on this?
No?
All right. Madam City Clerk.
Council and agency members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye.
Okay, there was a closed session held as to CS4 and CSA2, closed session, confidential, real property negotiator meeting, real property negotiations under Government Code Section 54956.8, real property negotiations regarding the offer from MTA to purchase property located on Redondo Boulevard, property negotiations for negotiators, MTA in the City of Inglewood, negotiator for the City of Inglewood, Artie Fields, City Manager. First of all, request a motion to reject offer of MTA and authorize a counter offer.
So moved.
Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council and agency members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Aye.
There was a subsequent need item, which was CS5, CSH1, and CSA3. Closed session, confidential, attorney-client privilege, potential litigation under Government Code Section 54956.9B1, claim of Kane, Balmer, and Berkman. Request a motion to authorize payment of billings and early release of checks.
So moved. Second.
Madam City Clerk.
Council and agency members Dodson,
Aye.
Padilla,
Aye.
Morales.
Aye.
Franklin.
Aye.
Mayor Chairman Buds.
Abstain.
And that concludes reports out of closed session for this evening, and there are no other additional comments by the city attorney.
CT1, Madam City Treasurer.
Yes, I would like to give just a brief report, and I have already passed it out earlier. I was not here last week due to another meeting. But the funds for the City of Inglewood is $106,937,713. And the interest earning for debt service is $26, and the interest earning is $16,385. Successor agency, $107,034,533. And the debt service interest earning is $11,597, and the other interest earning is $18. Housing Authority, the total investment held under investment is $100,377. Public Finance Authority, $13,500,056, and the debt service interest is $1,720. Total funds under management is $227,572,697. And if you look through the rest of the report, you'll see an array of graphs that depicts everything that I've just described. So you can review that in your leisure. And I would like to point out also that some of the important headlines that was in the USA Today, and it says, 2008 financial crisis, could it happen again? And that was in USA Today on 9/9/13. It says, yes, it can. Sales of some of the risky securities that helped drive Lehman Brothers into bankruptcy and spread the financial crisis are on the rebound on Wall Street. And the second article was on the same date, should we be worried? Yes, we should. Wall Street is repackaging of debt and alphabet soup of complex leverage investments that helped fail Lehman Brothers 5 years ago this month and brought financial institutions such as AIG and to the government door begging for bailouts are back. Also, another article, FDIC begins to reveal its deals, and basically that's about the settlement offers that the FDIC is making to some of these failed banks that's receiving very little scrutiny and very little press conference. That appeared in the Los Angeles Times on March the 3rd of the 13th. Another important article is junk bonds. Are we talking trash? And basically it's about to get higher returns, you have to accept higher risk, which for many investors has meant high-yielding, low-quality, high-risk junk bonds. And junk bonds basically get their rating of junk bonds because their rating is so low. It's generally BB to D. And generally, the more letters behind the rating, the higher the rating. So junk bonds are back in order to for some investors to get higher yield. Another important article appeared in Daily Commerce on 9/10/13, and it's entitled Streamline. And that's for mortgages that are underwater, and it's stated that folks can still get those kinds of mortgages refinanced. That is, if you have a good payment record and if it is a VA or an FHA loan. Again, if your bank does not offer the Streamline mortgage, you can inquire to other banks that may offer it. And finally, the Fed to keep buying $85 billion worth of bonds a month in a bid to drive down interest rate. As you know, the mortgage interest rate is rising up. It's approaching 5%. For just 4 months ago, it was as low as in the threes. And also, I would like to point out that just some information regarding the state portfolio. It's roughly about $52.5 billion. And most of those investments are primarily in treasuries and agencies for the most part, 65%. And the rate that particular $65 billion fund is earning is roughly 0.27%. Again, that's 0.27%. And it's a very huge fund, over $52 billion. And the interest that fund earned just in 2007 was almost $3 billion. That's in 2007. Today, it's $52 billion, and it's earning $243 million. Again, that's $52 billion. That's because the earning rate is so very, very low. And I would like to point out that the City Treasurer Student Intern program, I had to push the program forward into October instead of September due to the number of continuing education classes I had to take for a number of licenses that I do hold. So that program will now start on October the 16th through November the 13th. It will start on a Wednesday and end on November the 13th. And again, Assistant City Manager Michael Falco is going to be assisting me, and he will be teaching 2 of the classes, ITC, as well as the police department, which is just a very, very broad department, just an array of wonderful opportunities there. And we will be visiting 4 departments, sound installation, and we're also going to go back and visit the library because it's just the library just has a wealth of information there for the kids also. And again, in the hot lunch, Mayor, could I have just an extra minute? I was not here last week.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor.
You missed last week.
Yes.
We missed you.
I missed you also. We will be having a hot lunch, and the hot lunch will start at 3:30 until 4:10. We will be serving pizza and all of the trimming, and I just want to thank Inglewood today that's going to run a little ad for us, and thank you so very much for that. He's been so supportive of the program in all these years, and generally running a picture after the program is over, and just been so supportive of the program. I'm so thankful to Inglewood today for that. And also, I would like to mention that I did attend an array of block club functions. Fannie Mae was in between Gravella and Hillcrest, very wonderful block club. And also the Truro attended that one. I saw Councilman Morales there. There was a very good, very good food always. And I did miss the one there it was on 7th Avenue between 4th. It started very early, 8 o'clock in the morning, and it ended at 3 o'clock, so I kind of missed that one. And Joan Gonzalez is the president of Truro. And also, I want to make a clarification here. Councilman Franklin did attend our block club. I said he wasn't there, but he was there. Not only was he there.
We told you.
He helped set up. So I hope you accept my apology. He wasn't there when I came out, so I thought he wasn't there. But he was there.
Apology accepted.
And we did have great food, even though I got picked apart the last time because I mentioned that we had a great barbecue. I hope you got a plate. No plate, okay, well, we'll have to fix that. Okay, that concludes my remarks. And don't forget the City Treasurer Student Intern Program on October the 17th. Thank you, Mayor, for the extra time.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Public comments. Any persons wish to address the City Council on any matter connected with city business not elsewhere considered may do so at this time. Come on forward, Mr. Teixeira.
Just a brief announcement to the City Council. First of all, Mr. Mayor, City Council, and staff. Greetings from Michael Benbow, 1st District. Just a small comment here about the proposed street name change from Manchester Boulevard to Jackie Robinson Boulevard. I want to call that to attention to the citizens here in St. Louis. And one of the reasons why it was changed is because it used to be the Highway 42, and as all you know, that Jackie Robinson's number was 42. So that's the essence behind it. And the other things, of course, he's great, and we all love him, and that sort of thing. So I'm just keeping you up on the baseball affairs. Thank you much.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Council, my name is Joseph Teixeira. I'm asking this council to remove James Butts as council chairman because he has a clear and documented history of misleading the public, helping to break the law, and violating the rules of these meetings for his own political benefit. Just like earlier when he blew up, lost control, and ejected me from the chambers claiming I was speaking off topic just because he didn't like what I was saying. Now, maybe the mayor was mad or in a bad mood because just about 10 minutes before that happened, his buddy Willie Brown got served with a subpoena because I'm suing him for libel because the lies he told about me in his paper. And I hope to see Mr. Brown in court so I can show everyone just how much of a liar he is. And the mayor has admitted, some people know that when James Butts was Santa Monica's police chief, he was sued both as chief and as an individual for helping systematically violate the civil rights of countless Americans. And the mayor has admitted here that he did that just to gain a tactical advantage at trial. I first came here 2 years ago to complain that IPD repeatedly refused to investigate the attempted murder of my neighbor's son and his friend, which I witnessed from about 60 feet away and where the bullets could have killed me. I repeatedly told Butts and the council that IPD's own 911 tapes proved that IPD refused to look for evidence, but told me to go collect bullet shells for them. And they refused to even try to talk to my neighbor's son, a victim, telling me that if he was shot at, there must have been a good reason. But when I requested those 911 tapes, James Butts lied and told everyone that the tapes didn't exist. And he helped IPD illegally withhold them from me for 9 months. And when I finally got those 911 tapes, James Butts repeatedly violated the rules of these meetings by stopping the meetings and ejecting me from the meetings just because I used my time for public comments to play those incriminating tapes. And when I or others criticize Butts or his cronies for their dishonesty and immorality and hypocrisy, Butts tries to say that isn't free speech and he won't allow it anymore. but a ruling that Ms. Sombrano mentioned by the Central District Court of California dated August 7th, 2013, says James Butts is again violating the civil rights of Americans for his own political benefit. The court confirmed in its ruling that it is unconstitutional for people like Butts to censor or eject citizens from meetings just because he doesn't like what they say or how they say it, or for anything short of actually stopping or delaying the progress of a meeting. In the court's ruling, it stated, quote, that a city council's rules of decorum prohibiting any personal, impertinent, profane, insolent, or slanderous remarks without requiring actual disruption is unconstitutional, unquote. So just like he did in Santa Monica, James Butts has come to Inglewood and violated the civil rights of its residents for his own benefit so that he can hide the fact that he and this council are doing a terrible job of overseeing our police department.
Thank you, Mr. Texera. Any other public comment?
Mayor Butts, City Council members, Charles Braggs, First District. I'm here today, I'm representing an individual who is not old enough to vote yet, who lives in the city, and she wanted to know what the City Council or the City of Inglewood wants to do. The opening of the teen center is a great thing to happen here in the city, but the age limit, 13 to 17, was noted in some of the flyers, focuses that to those teenagers. The individual who I'm representing as their voice is a tween. She is 9 years old and not just 13, so they're called tweens. And she said that there are no programs for us tweens. What can the city do about it? That's what she wants to know, sir.
How old is she?
She's 9, so she's considered a tween. After school, yeah.
We do have after-school programs.
Yes, she realizes it, but she said you focus on the teenagers because it's a teen.
Not an after-school program.
Yeah, well, she says you focus on a teen. I had the letter that she was writing, but I forgot it, but she wanted to let the city
I
council.
understand, but you could refer to our after-school programs. Those aren't focused on teens.
Okay. But she said she's a tween and she wanted to know.
Tween she is.
Okay, sir. I'll let her know you. Okay?
All right.
Thanks.
All right.
My name's Alfonso Parker Jr. I'm a Vietnam veteran, 1966-67, conscious objector. I'm not going to try to quote Ms. Sombrano's amazing news. It's been spoke to twice already. I've been speaking and cussing and doing what I want to do all the time. I proved that our esteemed mayor was at Maxine Waters' town hall meeting at the church on Crenshaw Saturday morning. I called her a traitor. I called her a liar. Said she violated her national security and international security clearance when she looked at my records August 22nd, 2009. 10 days later told me I'd never been in the military and they didn't know who I was. She violated a security clearance because, see, I've had a security clearance ever since 3 months out of high school up until 1990, when it was the last time I worked in a tax-paying job. Anyway, I know the procedures. Military company clerk. I can whip any 50 personnel specialists like a chessboard. I'm good at what I do. I worked medical records at King Hospital for 5 years. I know when records are trashed. And I can tell you about when they were trashed by the medium used, about what time they were trashed. Now, I'm in her face. She should lose her security clearance, lose her job. Now, she's not the only one. You have them in the justice, you have them in the Congress, you have them all over. They went to a special United States Navy Intelligence Marine Corps school, independent study, G7, G5, different levels of degrees. And what it is a propaganda group. And their thing is to take the truth and twist it into a fantasy to become truth. And this is what they've been doing to your veterans all these years. They take your information and they trash your lives. My father was a conscious objector. I was a conscious objector. My father was a bishop. My mother was a missionary. She died 58 years after marriage. In their paperwork, they show her as a whore having 4 kids from different men. I never smoked cigarettes in my life. I smoke according to them. They trash your people's records. And thank you, Ms. Sombrano. I want a minute sometime, man. You shut me up. You're part of the problem. Because once they consolidated all police agencies in January '67, you fools been going crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. See, that young lady said Naples.
My name is Diane Sembrano, and I'm going to give you the citation where you can go look this up, because it is on the Venice 311. That's the fastest way, because the actual document is 44 pages. The last 29 are the most significant. I don't have more than 3 minutes, but I will read that the court finds the discussion of a council member's alleged criminal activities is relevant to a discussion of funding that the city intends to give to that council member's district. Indeed, this incident is exemplary of why it is unconstitutional to restrict speakers from making personal attacks in city council meetings. It chills speech. And then it gives a case number is critical of elected officials, which is speech at the heart of the First Amendment. In one of the largest cities in the world, this is Los Angeles, it is to be expected that some inhabitants will sometimes use language that does not conform to conventions of civility and decorum, including offensive language and swear words. As an elected official, a city council member will be the subject of personal attacks in such language. It is asking much of council members who have given themselves to public service to tolerate profanities and personal attacks, but that is what is required of the First Amendment. It goes on, and then there's that great little quote from Plato, where is it? The city that silences a critic will injure itself as much as it injures the critic. For the gadfly's task is to stir into life the massive beast of the city, to rouse each and every one of you to persuade and reproach you all day long. Wow. Let me see. Zuma Dog gets his court appearance in January. Maybe Joe, Alfonso, and Hector's not here tonight should file their lawsuits. Because for 4 weeks in a row, members of this community who displeased one member of this council were thrown out. Chilling of speech. Probably not a way to go. Didn't work well when you tried Fifth Amendment issues in Santa Monica. Didn't work well in the city of Los Angeles with the gender discrimination, and I'm hoping free speech doesn't cost us a lot of cash out of the general fund for this city. By the way, with regard to, what was that girl's name? Jamie K. Sweeney, registered as my address. Anyone knows her? Please ask her to pay rent or come mow the lawn. She voted, you know.
Gil Matthew, District 4, Mayor and City Council. Again, I'd still like to congratulate the Finance Department on that budget presentation. And it's become abundantly clear, you know, they even gave us a 5-year plan, and they outlined what the problem is. Okay, the problem is that we have to find ways to generate more revenue. The expenditures are there, and then plus they're going to remain there and possibly increase by 2% each year. So the idea is that we must generate new revenue. Now, again, with the successor agency taken the part where it's going to be declined or dissolved, it's really going to be a positive for the city because we're going to get at least $1 million, $1.5 million more in property taxes, and it should come on board with this next fiscal year. So I don't know if you accounted for that in part of the decrease in the shortfall, but that's going to be an increase. And next, concerning the police, and there's some grant money that's coming up for police, retaining police. Now, I recognize you can't hire police with the grant money, I mean, you could, but then you, when the grant runs out, you still have.
Actually, we just received $1 million in a hiring grant. We just did.
Okay, well, with that, I want to make sure that we retain what we have
Okay.
and not talk about the 10 police that we short of and no provision. Say if they just happen to come along, we have no provision because we have no money. Okay, now, as far as what needs to be done, there's some myriad of things need to be done. Number one is we got to take care of the seniors, the senior center. We got to have neighborhood preservation. And what I want to know is that if the residents recommend ways that the city would save money, would they be eligible for the 20% or whatever saved, like give the Berkshire Group? I mean, if the residents recommend something, I have a lot of ideas how the city could save money. But I mean, if they're going to reward them, why not reward me? Or all citizens, because residents of Inglewood knows Inglewood better than anybody else. And believe it or not, a lot of ideas can come from the residents if you just reach out or they feel comfortable coming forward. And then we need training programs for the youth and some outreach for jobs for the young people. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Matthew.
Good afternoon. My name is Ethel Austin. I'm an activist in the city. I wanted to say to the class here, most of this stuff been going on since 2008. The mayor wasn't here. A lot of this stuff, everybody's upset behind elections. And we need to stop. We really need to stop. The newspaper man write what goes on into the city, with the city, and that's his job. So if he wants to come and talk about personal issues, that's a personal matter with you all, with him and the law. As I say again, let the law handle the law. Those people are representing us. We cannot get the city going if we keep talking, speaking negative. We trying to save the city. It's like you guys don't want to save this city. I love Inglewood, but golly, give them a break. This man that got the government trying to get the mayor and everybody trying to get our money back to us. Get these houses installed. 1,000 houses fixing to be installed. So you kids that's here, what you hear here, this don't pay that no attention, because this been going on for 10 years. I've been coming 16 years and you still got the same negative people. They will never get positive. They don't want to see the city. So move. Move. That's all you got to do is leave the city. LA got a beautiful city. Crenshaw District is very nice. Leimert Park, it's nice. Very nice. Oh yeah, very nice. I know everybody love Crenshaw and Leimert Park. Go over there. And Mr. Brown, if someone is serving you, you are our newspaper writer. You are our publisher. The mayor, the taxpayers paying you to advise the city of what's going on in this city. And that's what you're doing. So if you've been served, then you could serve a restraining order. You don't have to put up with this kind of stuff. All of this, the story has changed over and over with Mr. Testerio. I've listened, I spoke to him, and I want to let you all know we all, even the chief, everybody has sat down with that man, and he will not, I don't know what he wants to accomplish. You got to have some type of question that you need answered. The mayor sit with him. Every mayor since 2008 and council member has sit with this man. I even tried. Everyone have. His story changed. The mayor ain't had nothing to do with nothing. But now the mayor's involved. It was Padilla. Now it's the mayor. Then every week the story changed. So enough is enough, guys. And from now on, every time someone come up here negative, I'm gonna come up and blow you out the water. I'm gonna bust your bubble.
Hello, Mayor and City Council and staff. Renald Davis, 2nd District. I come before you without fear. If I ever say anything negative here, it's to hopefully point out something that I see and to inspire you and perhaps even give advice. I can candidly state that in the years that I've come up here, I've given advice, and believe it or not, council followed up on it. I'm fondly reminded of the cameras put up on the top of light poles. I remember how everybody's light bulb went up. Hey, yeah, we can do that. And that's why we concerned citizens come down here, folks. We come down here, I do anyway, because I care about the city that I live in. I am not an activist. I don't have skin in the game like that. I have skin in the game because I have property here in Inglewood, and the city, I rise and fall with it. It's just that. So I'll talk about some good things, and I'm going to give my opinion of something with my minute and a half or so that I have left, hopefully. I saw the first ads on TV for the forum announcing the Eagles in January. They're already advertising. That's just in a clear message to everybody in the city that cares about trying to make that successful. We need to get on the stick. It's going to sell out instantaneously. You know that. So it's going to be sitting there waiting for us to take advantage of it. So all the citizens in Inglewood who care, who own a business, hopefully we have some meetings to see how we could come up with strategies to maximize tax revenue, because that's what it's all about. I'll toss one at you. I work in Marina Del Rey. Every Thursday, 5 o'clock in the afternoon, about 20 lunch trucks show up. We've had one of those. You think we can talk somebody into letting them show up on those nights? There's not enough restaurants in town to handle, what, the 16, 17,000 people are going to show up? Hey, we'll find another way. Hey, my advice is free. Take it or leave it.
Actually, Mr. Davis, they are considering that.
See, I'm with you. Now, my last 34 seconds is going to be a fantasy for me. You guys want to know how you can end all the sniping? Throw down the gauntlet. Enact an ordinance that says any elected official in Inglewood that can be proven guilty of felony malfeasance while under this body, we don't care if you cut a deal, like a former mayor did, and gets to walk away. No, you forfeit pension, everything here. If you do that, what's anyone else got to say? And why wouldn't you do it? I don't see a criminal up there.
Thank you. You think
You
that
can
would
do it
stop
easy.
it?
Pardon?
You think that would stop it?
No, but it's
No,
gonna look real stupid.
Okay. All right.
Theola Gardner, District 1. I'm having a learning problem, but I want to speak to clarify something that happened to me. And when things happen to people personally, they go very deep. Last time I spoke about politicians being used and politicians using their campaign persons to be photographed with politicians of prominence. And that not necessarily that politician of prominence, so to speak, recommend them. It's just taking a picture with them. And for voters in the community to be misled. I did not say anything negative about Maxine Waters. But you council people misconstrued that I did. I go to all of her town meetings I can. I speak with her personally when I possibly can. My statement was that just having your picture taken with Maxine Waters does not mean that you're an okay person and everything you do is all right. And that is true. Also, when I was abused during the campaign, one of the paid members stood up here and said that what happened was a lie, and it was on YouTube. She said that the Unabi guy said, "God bless you." But everything he said, all of his body movements, were on YouTube for people to see. And that is wrong to lie like that and to use the word of God along with it. She said what happened to me was a lie and the whole world could see it. That hurts. That's painful. To make truth a lie before this council and community and to be paid, so to speak, with city funds. She announced herself as George Dotson, campaign manager at a time.
Thank you, Ms. Gardner.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, City Council, staff. I am Ted Brass, a proud resident of District 2 and the City of Inglewood. I am here to share my support and to let you know I am very proud of what this council and the city is doing, especially with the soundproofing of those homes. Guess what happens when those homes are soundproof? I've been a real estate professional in the city for over 35 years, and my experience tells me that values go up. When values go up in the city, in individual homes that have been, soundproofing has been done, that actually elevates the values of all the property in the city of Inglewood. If you go and look at those comparables, those data, it supports it. So all of that is great for the city of Inglewood. It's good for each and every one of its citizens. So I really am here just to share my enthusiasm and to let you know I'm proud of what you're doing. Is it perfect? Of course not. This is not a utopia, and certainly there is not perfection, but I think with the efforts of all of us collectively, it will help the city become an even better place to live. I'm happy about things and the way that we are progressing, and I stand in support. One of the foot soldiers. If there's anything I can do to help this city, help this council and its staff further the efforts that are going on in the city of Inglewood, just let me know. I am here to support you. I am happy with the city, the efforts. Yes, some pains, no gains. So I am ready for the gain, and I am ready for the pain, and I am ready to work to continue to support you. Great job. Continue the wonderful work. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm one of the students, apparently, that was mentioned not too long ago. I wanted to say thank you all. This is my first time being in a meeting, and I've never been so excited about, like, oh my, it's so amazing. Like, all of the, I never knew this was real, and I wanted to say that it's actually
It's real.
inspired me. Yeah, I can see that. And it was so, like, I don't think you could get this in a movie theater, you know. This is outstanding. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's politically, I mean, I was never involved in politics, but I think after today, definitely, I think I would want to be more involved into politics, particularly in my district. And I wanted to say thank you all for giving us the opportunity to sit here and experience such an interesting meeting. Yeah, definitely. And if I could get a picture eventually, by all means, I would really appreciate it. Because this is amazing. Yeah, I never knew. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to all of you.
You're welcome.
Definitely. Thanks.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and staff. My name is Aldine Sly, and I'm from the 1st District. And I wanted to make a correction in Mr. Esponza's report regarding not being able to find enough single-family homes to insulate. As one of the original fighters with the Laxon, with the airport, to have homes insulated in the first place, it was before your time, Mr. Mayor, and before your time, Mr. Dotson, and the new councilman. But as one of the original people who marched, knocked on doors to have the airport insulate our homes, it turns out that some of the first members of that group are the very ones that they're saying the homes do not lie in the corridor. And we have airplanes flying over our homes, cracking our ceilings and walls, pollution, dirt. Every time we run the hose, dirt is rolling up. So we should have been one of the first residents to get the sound insulation. But I don't think we'll ever get it because Mayor Dorn established the fact with LAX that we are not in the corridor. So I don't know if we're going to have anybody to fight for us, but I don't care if I don't get my home insulated. That's fine, but I know there's a lot of families on my block that really would appreciate having their homes insulated.
Actually, Ms. License, what you say is so important. If I could answer you, and I'll give you back your time. The reality is that it wasn't Mayor Dorn that, or LAX that decided which homes would be in the corridor. The FAA used sound instrumentation, and they determined the houses that were impacted by over 45 decibels of noise. And in the agreement that they fashioned to spend actually hundreds of millions of dollars to insulate homes for our residents at about $25,000 a home, the agreement included a clause that if the city were ever to challenge the corridor contours, that the city would first have to return the monies that were granted under that. So the issue is, it's not that I don't believe, nor does the council believe, that a house can be next door to another house and them not be impacted by noise. But the issue is that they were going to cut the program some way, and some people were left out. And so it isn't a case that the council doesn't want to fight for you. It's a case of, if we challenge those contours, it's in the agreement, we would have to return all the money, and that would be impossible. So I wanted you to know it's not a case of anyone fighting for you.
And so when the negotiations were going on, then the city bowed to
At some point, the city,
FAA.
At some point, the city said, this is the best deal. I wasn't part of deliberations, nor was anyone here, but you're right. At some point, someone agreed to that. You're right, and it's what we're bound by now.
Okay, I appreciate you explaining that to me because it's never been explained that way.
Okay.
And it's left a lot of residents
I understand.
puzzled because we have, since they moved the runway further north, I mean.
Well, they haven't
planes-
done it yet.
Well, they're
and
getting
we ho-
ready to.
And we hope they don't.
Pardon me?
And we hope that they do not.
We hope they don't, but that's the information that we have. And so I thought it was extremely unfair, but now that you've explained it, and I see that Inglewood would jeopardize everything else that they've been able to accomplish with insulation, but that still doesn't make me a very happy
I
resident.
understand that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any more comments? I just want to tell you guys, we will take a picture with you at the end of the meeting. Okay, we'll close public comment.
man, my
Madam
glasses.
Clerk, I skipped you inadvertently, and you broke your glasses as a result.
This is not funny, guys. This is not funny because I have to read something, so don't laugh. Thank you, Mayor. First, before I get started, I asked the mayor to speak last because I want to have the opportunity to read a letter that I thought was really nice that a resident that lives in the city of Inglewood has sent to the city. And I'm really glad I get to read it now because I watch you young people out here, and I noticed one of the young ladies said that the people were disrespectful to the council. And, you know, that happens every now and then, but don't take it to heart because there's some good people in the city of Inglewood. So don't laugh because I got to now make these stay. And I want to read this letter. It was addressed to the mayor, but it was CC'd to the council and the city treasurer and the city manager. And it reads, Dear Mr. Butts, and it was written on September 18th. Dear Mayor Butts, I'm sorry. I have wanted to write this letter for some time now to express how the city council meetings are being conducted. First, it's a pleasure to see the city is having a day and night meetings. I cannot come at night. I only drive in the day. And I do participate by attending at least one of those meetings per month. I am so glad to see the fighting between the past council members and the mayor has stopped. It's a shame they had to be put out of office in order to get order. Now the voters really get to see what we have been missing for a long time, folks taking care of business. Unfortunately, there is one thing that has not changed. There is around 4 or so of the same people continuing to complain about everything. It ranges from payment of the bills to consent calendar to maybe the mayor didn't tie his shoe right. Wow, what miserable people. They constantly say that they are the people, but let me make one thing straight. They don't represent the people, they only represent themselves. I can only hope that the council will continue to work in a peaceful manner, and please ignore those folks that don't have anything better to do but irritate folks. Believe you me, the voters are not paying attention to the theatrical behaviors. Remember, not everyone likes peace and order. Thank you for your service. Sincerely, Michelle Venerable. And so I just thought I'd read that because I think it's important for people to know that there are people out there that do watch these meetings, and they do think good things about the council, and they don't think that certain behaviors are getting brownie points. I mean, some people think it's kind of foolishness, so maybe we should just revisit that and stop attacking and just stay focused on taking care of the city's business. Thank you, Mayor. That's the end of my closing remarks.
Thank you, Councilman Dotson.
Look what happened.
Oh, go closer to your mic.
Thank you. I had the honor of visiting Regency Square today. It's a new development here in Inglewood. It's a 145 unit on Regency Street. If you have the time, go by and look at 527 West Regent. This is from our housing department and a partnership with the City of Inglewood and Chandler Construction. And these units are absolutely beautiful. This is a low-income residential unit. It's 145 of them. And some of the amenities are, you would not believe it. They have an on-site after-school educational program, and it's free to the people who live there. They also have a study hall on-site. They have a library and a community room, swimming pool, spa, exercise room. This is absolutely wonderful. And I would dare you, go and see this. You won't believe this. I mean, when I walked in there, I had no idea what I was going to see. It is beautiful. And I'll tell you, if you really want to see your tax dollars at work, go by 527 West Regent.
District 3.
Oh, District 3. And the other thing is, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out, especially the students. Glad to see you. You see your democracy at work. And, you know, every meeting is something different. So, you know, it'll keep you entertained. But we do take care of the city business here. This is not a comedy show, like I've heard it referred to, but we're getting better. the audience, they give us food for thought. So I enjoy the comments. And so
You only been here a couple months, George.
and you know, the way I look at it, we're gonna keep doing our job no matter what they say. So thank you all for coming out, and we'll see you. I'll see you next week.
All right. Councilman Padilla.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of quick notes. I want to look at the agenda. At the beginning of the meeting, if you look at your agenda, it says, and I'm going to read it, persons wishing to address the city council, successor agency on closed session items may do so at this time. And what we're asking for is the public to come up here and discuss any items that are on the agenda. It's your opportunity to let us know what your thoughts are. Unfortunately, what isn't good, in my opinion, is when people come up here and they stray from talking about items that are on the agenda and they make personal attacks. And that's not what this is meant for. It's meant for you to come up here and address the items on the agenda. And so I strongly encourage folks to please come up here, let us know what your thoughts are, but don't start attacking people that are in our audience and come after them, because those are members of this community that are here like you, like everyone else, that cares about what's happening in this city, cares about the decisions that are being made. And so they have every right to sit in this audience and not have to worry about being attacked. So please, let's keep it professional, keep it as a business meeting, and let's move our agenda forward. That being said, I want to talk about this coming Sunday in District 2 at North Park. This Sunday from 1 till 4, we're going to have a picnic. It's our first picnic we've had in District 2. And I'm inviting everyone to come out and enjoy a day at the park, get to know your neighbors, get to know the business owners. We'll have everyone out there. We're going to have some food and refreshments for everyone to enjoy. And bring your children. There's a great gym area there for the kids to play with. The Teen Center opened last Thursday over at the library. And yes, it is for a certain age group. But it's a great opportunity for our young men and women to come out, to have access to computers, to have access to mentors, to have access to opportunities to find jobs, and to have access to a place to come out and just enjoy themselves in a safe environment. And they can also go up to the library and use some of the resources that are there as well. We had a young lady come up here a little while ago and thank the mayor for being able to explain a question that she had never heard that answer to. And I ask others, please, if you have an opportunity, you're not certain on something, come up, ask the mayor, ask any one of your council members, city staff, and we'll get you the clarification. And if we don't have the answer, we'll get you somebody that does. Mayor, can I have a few more minutes?
A few more?
Oh, not a few more minutes, but
One
give me
more?
1 minute.
All right, go ahead.
Let's see
gets
here.
a few more.
Exactly. Real quick, one more thing. Don't forget this Friday, I believe, is our lunch truck Friday?
Yes, Food Truck Friday.
Food truck Friday?
On Market Street.
On Market Street. So please come out. If you were out at the last one, you saw how much fun it was. It's a standing room only crowd, so please, I encourage you, come out, bring your family. It's a great opportunity to see what's going on in beautiful downtown Inglewood. That being said, I also miss Willie Agee not being here. I miss him talking about being a part of beautiful Inglewood. Now, my last remarks. 30 years ago today, I married my wife. And so I was blessed to marry a beautiful woman, and I love her. Thank you.
Councilman Morales?
Congratulations, Alex. That's tough to follow. I love my wife too, but in case you're watching. Let me tell you, we're all very fortunate to have people like Alex be on the council, because it just shows a commitment of
what we do here. You know, we've all been up here during birthdays of our kids, during anniversaries, and I just wanted to point that out. I mean, here he is his first year. His wife helped him a great deal during the election, and here he is with us. And he left a breakfast early with her this morning to show up at our event earlier today. And just going one step further, the mayor left, went to the event, went to Sacramento to take care of city business, and flew back in time for open session. I mean, that's, and every time I hear people beating one of my colleagues up, I think about, what I know about them. What I know about them and the opportunity I have to say, hey, you know what, just today I saw this, so I just wanted to point that out. Now, in regards to some of my comments, we had two great block clubs, as Ms. Brown said, on Truro, one of the oldest block clubs in the city. In my district, had great food, everything went well. I mean, great people out there. In Gravilla, they had their first one. Ms. LaRue did a great job putting it together. We're real proud of that. Councilman Dotson said that, about the Regent Square that we were all at the opening today. Amazing facility, talk about really what he said, the tax dollars at work. I mean, there's part of our funds in there. And because of it, so many people, so many families are living in just a first class, housing. It's something we're really proud of. We hope to see more of those type of developments, but aside from that, just collaterally what happened was that the neighborhood needed to get a pickup. So those developers, they also paid for some of the neighbors to get some of their balconies fixed, an extra paint job to some of the surrounding apartment buildings and condos. Why? Because it lifted the entire community. And I just wanted to tell you that we're so proud to have those partners do that. The Hispanic Fair, the staff did a great job putting it together on Saturday at Crozier. We hope that continues. The sound installation program, I mean, we minimized it really. We could talk forever about how amazing it is to go from 400 homes a year to 1,000 homes a year. That's more than double. That is a big mountain that we've asked the same staff that was doing the other 400 to do 1,000. That's huge. So other than that, I just want to say thanks for coming out. Like I said, the comments are great, but there's two sides to everything, and the side that matters is the side that's progressing the city. So thank you all for coming out, and the students are always welcome.
Thank you. Councilman Franklin?
Yes, thank you, Mayor, but I also want to recognize Alex and Stella. Congratulations on your 30th anniversary, and may you have many more to come. I also want to acknowledge that I went to the Truro Avenue block party, and Selena Moto is the captain, but more importantly, it's a block party that you fuse the balance of the community. If you really want to know what the ethnic group of the community is that believe in sharing and we're all neighbors, that's the block to go on. And they bring out grills on grills. I was surprised to see so many of them out there. And it went from tacos to barbecue, and it was a great time in the middle of a great festivity. Same thing I want to acknowledge in District 4, we had Century Heights Block Club. Actually, they don't call it a block club, they call it a street meeting. And the mayor was there and myself, and we got a chance to share with the residents the things that are going within their immediate area and surrounding them, and then the overall broad brush of what's going on in the city. And so I thank Hervé Gordon for an outstanding job, and the community for reaching out and making sure that happens. You heard my colleagues mention also regarding Regency Square grand opening today. 145 families are now living in one complex of the state of the art. And to have a developer tie down us council members to say, I have this vision that I want to bring a quality development to the city of Inglewood, and showed us off of Wilshire and Western that we have a sky-rise development that I can mimic that same thing, and did it beyond adequate. It was outstanding what they did, and identify it's our residents that are now taking resident. In fact, I was told that they filled the 105 units in 30 days, and there's over a year waiting list already to get in. And then, in addition to that, recognizing their investment that they reached over across the block to make sure that those residents also was able to spruce up their place as well on their dime. And then finally, I'd like to acknowledge that people have heard the story about the Inglewood Unified School District is having challenges because they're taken over by the state. But today I went to the back-to-school night at Worthington Elementary School, and I thought it was outstanding to have, one, a principal that had a vision with a plan of action, and that the parents, the students, and the teachers all bought into the vision that we're all together as a team, and we're going to excel these students so they can achieve academically, so they can, in fact, be a force to reckon with for our future. So it was great to be at that meeting as well. Thank you very much, and everyone have a nice evening. Bye-bye.
Hi, everybody. You know, I want to, particularly since we have students here and they were so entertained, I want to put a little perspective into, you heard a lot about the First Amendment free speech, and yes, I have ejected people before, but ordinarily it's in the beginning of the meeting when people are talking off topic, they're not talking about an agenda item. For anyone to say that I don't allow people to criticize me is, they haven't been here for the last 2.5 years. I don't remember stopping anybody in the open session 3 minutes to criticize me. But just because someone uses their free speech doesn't mean that they're accurate or in context. Let me give you an example. Mr. Teixeira comes up and talks about that I violate people's civil rights, and you would think that that's all I've done in my life. Actually, I've spent 41 years in public service, 37 of that with law enforcement. I've run 3 police agencies, and I've been sued twice. Anyone, first of all, you can't get sued if you do nothing, if you never accomplish anything. And in 26 years of being a general manager or assistant general manager, to be sued twice is incredible when you deal with issues of public safety, life and death. In this particular instance that he elucidates so regularly, there was a man named McNally. He murdered a woman, and the detectives from Santa Monica questioned him. Now, in 1992 or 1993, one of my training officers reprinted a training bulletin from a deputy D in Orange County named DeValis Rutledge. And he gave a discussion of questioning outside Miranda. And he had opined that although any statements made after you invoke your right to remain silent can't be used against you in a court of law, that they could be used to impeach you if you later told a different story. Now, this was just a bulletin about his concept. It was not a policy of the department. And it was one of, I don't know, hundreds of pieces of paper that come across my desk in a month. And I learned a valuable lesson as to what you'd be held responsible for. It was not a policy of the department. Detectives questioned McNally. He invoked. They kept questioning him. He told a story about where he was that night. He took the stand in his own defense, and these statements were used to impeach him. He was convicted of murder. The ACLU, I think, filed a writ against myself and Willie Williams, the chief of the Los Angeles Police Department, where this had happened in the Los Angeles Police Department as well. And the courts later determined that even though it was not a policy department, the fact that there had been a training bulletin that even mentioned it, then we were somehow responsible. And the reality was there were no sanctions placed upon the department. They just made a ruling that, you know, this was not something that could be done. Mr. McNally is still in prison for murder, and that's the big civil rights violation. And then Mr. Brownell got up and threw out casually with gender discrimination. I used to work for the airport. After I left the airport, a female lieutenant or two, a female lieutenant sought promotion to captain, and she wasn't promoted. Well, here's what happens when you sue people. You sue everybody that you can, and my name was tossed in. Now, she doesn't mention that that lawsuit was either dismissed or lost in court. That's not important. The important thing was for her to throw out gender discrimination. You see what I'm saying? So understand, free speech is just that. It's free speech. It doesn't mean accurate speech. It doesn't mean truthful speech. It doesn't mean in context speech. So know that this is the beautiful thing about America. You can say anything that you want within reason, no matter how misguided, no matter how out of context. And so that's what we experience here. But we let people in the last 3 minutes, I don't remember throwing anybody out unless I felt that they were inciting the audience. But we don't have to wait to physical violence before we eject somebody. Regent Square is an outstanding facility. You should go by and see it. It's an amazing place for young people and their children to live. To be able to have your child come home and have after-school care and tutors for young children, another separate tutoring facility for older children, your own gymnasium, a pool, and just beautiful, beautiful living quarters. This was a step up from Inglewood, and it just totally belied everything, all the complaints we heard about. Oh, it's going to put too much traffic. You won't be able to get to Manchester. You know, all the things we heard turned out just not to manifest themselves. 145 families and low to moderate income have beautiful living quarters for them and their children. Oh, please come for Food Truck Friday. We had a great time last month. We expect to have a great time this month. And so, congratulations to Alex and Stella, my man. Congratulations. And we're adjourned. Why don't you guys come up and take your picture?